Hello everyone, today we are talking about the difference between surface area and volume. So, big idea is that volume is always the amount of space inside of a three-dimensional object, where surface area is the total area of all the outside sides of a three-dimensional object. So, as a rule of thumb, when we are talking about volume, we are always talking about the inside of something. So if you're talking about filling something up, how much space is inside, how much can fit inside of something, right? Anything inside is going to be our volume. Or anything outside, so making the outside of something, covering it with something, painting the outside, that's always going to be talking about our surface area. All right, the next big difference is our units of volume. So units of volume are always going to be cubed, whereas units of surface area are always going to be squared. And let's talk about why using these pictures down here. All right, so talking about cubed, right? When we're talking about the space that something fills up, we are literally talking about how many of these little cubes of a certain size would fit inside of something. So I always tell my students to think about a Rubik's Cube, right? You've got that bigger cube broken up into all those smaller cubes. So that's what we're visualizing when we're talking about volume. Surface area, we're taking this 3D object and we're actually like unfolding it, which we'll talk about in a later video. But when we unfold it and we look at what's called the net, we have this two-dimensional flat object. And what we're doing with that is instead of breaking it up into little cubes, we're actually breaking it up into little squares. So we're seeing how many squares are going to fit in that space. So that's why surface area is squared and volume is cubed. And so how we show that using those actual labels is we use a little 3 for our exponent for cubed, and we use a little 2 for our exponent for surface area. And so we would read this as centimeters cubed, and we would read this one as centimeters squared. So you've got inside and outside, cubed and squared. Let's talk about some real life examples of both. So for real life examples of volume, we've got things like water in a pool, coffee in a cup, soil in a planter. Whereas for surface area, we have things like wrapping something with wrapping paper, painting the outside of something, or actually how much material it would take to make something like a cereal box. So again, over and over, we're seeing anytime we're talking about the inside of something, filling something up, we're talking volume. Anytime we're talking about the outside or covering something, we are talking surface area. Let's see if you can put that to the test and figure out what each of these is. So number 1, the minimum amount of wrapping paper needed for a birthday present. Wrapping paper is on the outside of something, so this is going to be surface area. Number 2, the amount of coffee that will fill a mug. Filling something up is going to be volume. All right, pause the video here and try the rest of them on your own. Hopefully we get them all correct. All right, so we have water needed to fill a pool, volume, the amount of paint needed to cover the outside of a birdhouse, surface area, paint filling up a can is volume, and then if we're talking about how much it takes to actually make a box to the outside of something, we are talking surface area. All right, so hopefully we understand the difference between volume and surface area. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.